Come and take a class at the Alteration.
All right, everybody, welcome to another fantastic episode of Alter Academy. Before we get into it today, we are holding another giveaway this week where if you subscribe and comment, you'll be entered to win this extremely rare Disney Famous Trampled card. Now, Disney Famous is what the game was originally called, and these are prototype alpha cards, so subscribe and comment for your chance to win it. And now, getting back to the actual show, here with us today, I'm excited to have one of the most influential players in Disney Lorcana history to date. We have EU Continentals qualifying player, Mr. Amethyst Emerald himself, the great Artabax. Artabax, I'm so excited to have you today. How are you doing?
Thank you very much for having me. I'm feeling honored, and that's a statement. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm one of the most influential players, but yeah.
Definitely on Amethyst Emerald, you are.
Yeah, that's maybe the case. Yeah.
So let's get straight into it and tell me about your famous Amethyst Emerald deck here and kind of the choices that we're at with this metagame. And I see we're down to just Friends on the Other Side for songs, and we got a Crikey in here. So what are your thoughts on the metagame right now, and how have you built this list to stop that metagame?
I think Green Purple is in a good spot right now. I mean, it's a wide open meta game, so it's always hard to say what is actually. I don't know if anyone can say what's the best deck right now, but it's a top contender for the meta game. I think it has a very good matchup into Red Purple and into Red Blue. At least the version I play right now.
Yeah, I did get 2-0'd by a version close to this at Set Champs this weekend, and I was playing Red Blue.
The Murfolk and Cheeps, the Murfolk and Flints really hurt them.
Yeah.
Often you are able to get to a reasonable amount of lore, and then it's sometimes quite easy to close that game out still with Go-Go's and Goats. So, I think to have a good matchup against these two decks is an important thing. And against the rest, it's not that you have some really bad matchup. The worst matchup is still Green Steel, I would say. But the rest is at least playable I think the rest is very close matchups, I would say.
And that seems to be a case in this metagame right now, is a lot of just close matchups, and a lot of it's kind of just been defined by I want to say like the higher skilled player is able to kind of come out with this, which I'd say is a pretty healthy metagame.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I do have to ask, what is with the one cloud kicker here? I've never seen that before.
That could be. You could see that a bit random. You could. It's a flex spot. You could add a lot of things here. I don't think he's necessary. I just wanted to keep one in. I don't have a really good reason for it. Like sometimes it comes in handy, like in aggressive matchups, and a bit more bot. Yeah, like a bit more interaction with the opponent's board is. With only Elsas, it's sometimes a bit less, and one or two kids. Kid is not a great card right now. It's just decent. So one or two kids I want to have in there just to have a bit more interaction, because Green Purple has absolutely no interaction outside of Elsa. So
Got it.
I don't think it's super needed or something. It's a flex spot. You can play a lot of stuff there.
Okay, well, I think that gives a good summary of the deck, so let's just jump straight into some simulations here. And as we always do, let's start with a blind on the play alteration.
So on the play, I mean, there's a lot of matchups where you can punish with Murfolk. So Murfolk is also, as always, a blind on the play keep, I would say. Murfolk is the only matchup where I don't keep it is Steel Song.
Yeah.
So blind, I would always keep Murfolk, of course. And what I always search is like Peter Pan and Ursula. That's also, if I have a one drop like cards that I search for. So we are also in deck with a low inkable count, so we can mulligan relatively aggressively if we want to. And there are a lot of cards in here that are not really something we really need to see in our opening hand. So we can mulligan really aggressively. Depending on the meta, I would either keep only the Merfolk or I would Merfolk and Go-Go keep. Probably I would. The most safe thing is like to keep Merfolk and Go-Go here, like because Go-Go is a decent turn 2 play. Even especially if you expect a lot of Diablos running around,
Right.
it's a decent turn 2 play. So like this, yeah. And then we hope with Rabbit, Peter Pan, Ursula are cards I would like to see in my opening hand. Yeah. So
All
let's
right.
see what it's.
Let's see what we get here.
In the right matchup, depends very much on the matchup. Against some matchups, this is a really busted opening hand, like red blue or red purple. This is really really fast.
Yeah.
But of course, against Steel Song or something, it's not the best opening hand, of course. But yeah, it's okay. Depends on the matchup. Also against Blurple, Blurple is also someone's a deck you can really punish with a really really fast opening and get to a good amount of lore, and then they can still like close out games really really easily.
Yeah, and the Cursed Merfolk has been. I'm a big Ruby Sapphire player, and it's been a lot more troubling than it has in the past because we've cut brawls. So I'm also like just losing so many resources if I have, because my only answer really is Tipo into it. So at that point, the Tipo is just costing a bulk of my hands. So Cursed Merfolk is actually, I think, in a really good spot right now.
Flint, and Flint too, because the Hiram is gone, and then it costs really important cards in your hand to kill them. And like you have to commit something on the board to deal with them, and then you have even less cards in your hand. So it really hurts the red blue players. Yeah.
Right. All right. Let's go into blind on the draw now.
Yeah, Crab is always a good card on the draw. We have a 1-drop. Yeah, still not very much key cards I want to see. Like I mentioned, like a Peter Pan and Ursula. Yeah, I think I would either. It's hard. Like either keep only the Pegasus, or keep Pegasus and Crab. I think I would tend to keep only the Pegasus here, because yeah, we need sometimes to force the luck a bit. Like we need some better opening, because Gogo, Yago are and Fox also are rarely a keep. Yeah, we need better opening cards, like the cards I mentioned. I think I would mulligan like this. Yeah.
All right, let's see what we alter here.
That's a very good hand. I think that's at least a hand that's playable into nearly any matchup. Like, there's nothing missing here. Depending on the opponent's deck, we have to decide if we go for. In nearly all cases, we go for the Merfolk, so we would probably ink the Pegasus turn 1, because just of the uninkability. And then we need to see if we play against Red Blue, we go for Flynn probably. If we play against Steel Zone, we go with Ursula. We have a lot of options in our hand. That's a hand I would be unhappy to see.
I think this shows just how much of an expert you are at this deck, because I had only read the names of 3 of the cards, or seen 3 of the cards. You had already seen them all, understood how good of a hand it was. So
yeah, I mean, if someone tells me you have every game like a Merfolk and Ursula and the Rabbit in my opening hand, I would take that.
Yeah,
like, I would just take that.
Understood.
Because that's just the entry into any game, like that leads to less non-games.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's go into Ruby Amethyst on the play, and we'll say it is the Peter Pan Shark build that's been popularized.
Yeah, against Red Purple, it can be sometimes an attrition war, especially against the Shark build. Like, you can't raise that much often, especially with that hand. We could risk it now a bit to force a really good start, like mulligan hard for Merfolks or Flint. But I think our start is very good if you go for Diablo, Snake, and then Peter Pan plus friends. Friends is a card you can just keep with the Peter Pan because it's very free to sing in this matchup. So like like this, I would make it like this. And if we, I mean, sometimes it's a bit like how much you want to risk. We could also risk it to go more for Murphy Fleet, but if we have a really good opening hand on the play, I think we should just take that. And it's not super bad. Turn two snake is good against red purple. They don't have that much counterplay to that, or like things they can punish that. So yeah, I think that's a really good opening hand. If they go for Peter Pan themselves on turn 3, we have to think about if we sing the friends with our Peter Pan because they could punish that with a Yago, but that needs to be seen if they go for turn 3 Peter Pan. If not, we can freely sing the friends and have a good early game. I think. Yeah, I think that's a good opening hand against them.
And let's go ahead and see what we get on this altar here.
No, the Iago is good. I think Gogo is, for example, not a turn 2 play we want to do because they have Peter Pan and then they just run over it.
Right.
So we still would go for the snake play on turn 2, and then turn 3 Peter Pan, and we have the Iago. Like if they do something, if they exert something, that we can do some really good trades. And Iago is especially, in general, a good card in that matchup.
Yeah, he's just very hard for the Ruby decks to take out.
Yeah, exactly. Especially like beneficial for them. And I would just try to not ink the friends in this matchup. Try to, because it's a free, it cannot be ripped or something. Like they have no Ursula or something, and it's just a free draw 2 if you have a singer. And I would try to not ink them, and that's why the turn 2 play with the snake is even better because then we get the Diablo back, and then we have ink.
Nice easy ink there. That's always the best part about these bouncing is you can just get these easy inks back.
Yeah. I mean, in some matchups it's a bit slow, but in some matchups where it's a bit more of an attrition fight, it's still good.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Ruby Amethyst on the draw, also the Peter Pan version.
That's not a good hand. The problem is Pegasus is not that good into Ruby Amethyst Shark. Right. So it's not a one drop we want to see. Peter Pan is okay, but I still would keep him because if they run over with Peter Pan, we have our own Peter Pan to finish that off. So
yes,
that's okay. Yeah, but I think the rest we could keeping one friends is a bit risky because we have no turn 2 play yet. But you can be rewarded by keeping one friends, but it's risky. And I cannot say completely objectively what's right. My feeling would say I would not keep it now that there's friends, but it's always, you can be rewarded for it, but you can also be punished for it. So it's not easy to be safe.
Yeah, and I think the punish is a lot worse. Than
exactly.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and alter here.
Oh, that got way better. We can now start really aggressive.
Yeah.
And then they don't have that much counterplay to it. Especially they don't play that much one drops, and especially Murfolk is really good into them because if they trade it, they need sometimes to trade it with like a Chernobog or something, and then you can run over with the Peter Pan.
Oh yeah.
That's really good because they don't play that much bounce anymore, so they really have to do it sometimes, or the Murfolk just quests another time. And turn 2, you can deploy just more one drops, and it's very likely that you get, even on the draw, you get a good amount of lore in the early game. It's very likely for that in this matchup if you start like this, and then you still have the friends for more gas. Then
Yeah, I think this hand perfectly encapsulates like what you want to do to stop like the Ruby Amethyst gameplay. So I think this is
exactly
a pretty easy road to victory here. So let's move on to Ruby Sapphire DKP version on the play.
Oh, that's great. That is great.
You got a nice curve so far.
Yeah. And so what we surely keep is Merfolk, Flynn, and Ursula, because Ursula is very good on the play turn 3 because they sometimes they go for turn 3 how far ago.
Yeah.
And we play that before them, but even if not, they have a lot of uninkable songs. It's yeah, she hits very often in this matchup. The question is just if we keep the snake too, but I think we need card draw as well. I wouldn't keep the snake. No, I think I would not keep it. Like we need a bit of card draw. A rabbit would be great addition here to this hand. Yeah, like this.
Yeah, and I will say this Ursula is like my biggest enemy versus this deck when I'm playing the DKP version, just because I want to how far I'll go into a turn 4 shark, and I can't do that with Ursula there.
Denies that completely. Yeah.
So let's alter and see.
That's okay. The playing with the go-go's is very important in Green Purple in general. Like, my tip is generally just don't rely on it too much. There are more games that I just try to kept it all the time, and it didn't do much. And I would rather have inked her earlier. Like this would be probably turn 1 ink for me, the go-go.
Yeah.
Because the Flynn is just, it's just more pressure and more often useful than the go-go. Like we need them to Maui into something, and then it's damaged. So like at the end game, it's great, but don't feel too bad to ink it early. It's okay.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's go Ruby Sapphire DKP on the draw now.
This is also okay. I mean, generally against this matchup, you basically it's not that hard to say. It's like you search for the most aggressive opening hand.
Right.
But Peter Pan is okay to run over the Tipo, and also Peter Pan is okay. Like, it slows them down because if they go for turn 4 shark, you played Peter Pan on 3, and then they can't exert their shark. Or I mean, me can, but then you threaten a crab trade then with the Peter Pan, and then they sometimes leave the shark ready, and then they get a lot slower. So that's not too bad. I mean, it's not like busted or something if you play Peter Pan on 3, but it's not the worst thing of the world if you have a 2 strength. If there's a character on the board that threatens a crab trade on the shark, that makes them always a lot slower. Gold is never keep, because you need to ink it if you keep it nearly always. So, and it's a very important card in this matchup, so you try to draw it later. And I wouldn't keep the crab. It just the threat of the trade is just enough for them. And the Pegasus is, and I wouldn't keep the go-go, and I wouldn't keep the Pegasus probably. Like I think that's okay. Yeah. Hopefully drawing some more Flints and Merfolks.
Yeah.
But on the draw, Ursula is okay on turn 2, because then it can already rip the how far I go if they go for that line, so it's okay. Yeah. I think this is decent.
And I like what you said about Peter Pan, because this whole DKP deck versus your deck here, its plan is to just get a shark on the board and not let you quest your characters out. And when they quest with the shark, it leaves them open to not get value to the shark when you do something like Peter Pan Crab. And I think that's what a lot of people fall into, that trap, is they just lose their shark for nothing to these Peter Pan combos, and then they just kind of lose the game on the spot with that. So it's a really, really tough balancing act of knowing when to quest on the DKP side with that shark to make sure you're still,
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's tricky for both sides, because I have to decide when I actually just quest with everything and don't care about your recurring something, and you have to decide when to exert your shark and don't care about the crab trade then or something.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah.
So let's see what we get here.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
2 Peter Pan a bit clunky, but yeah. So probably as a first turn ink is Kid then, and then it will lead to something. I think it's okay.
Yeah. All right. Let's.
Diablo's always good. Like Diablo is always a card. In this matchup, I try to not ink because it's just free lore and can't get too punished.
Yeah, and then once it gets Sisu'd finally, you're just getting your gas back anyway, so not really a downside. All right, let's go to Emerald Steel on the play, and then this will be our last two for the day.
So we have no Ursula, that's bad, and we have no Peter Pan, that's bad too. You can punish sometimes when you're on the play. You can really punish them with a really aggressive opening.
Right.
But sometimes not. That's a bit weird. I think I would keep one Flynn because just to have that option. But we have no one drop and we have no Ursula, we have no Peter Pan. So that's really some cards we need. So I would just dump everything else.
Yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense too. Then, since we're on the play, we're a little resource starved as well. So let's go ahead and see what we get here. And we got a lot of the things you were looking for.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. And sometimes if they miss their one-drop Diablo, you can really run away with the game very, very fast. Sometimes it's actually crazy how vulnerable they are to some aggressive openings. Especially if you have Ursula too, that can rip probably their only removal song.
Oh yeah.
And then it can be over really fast.
Yeah, I like this hand. I think this one's really good. So that was a nice, easy, quick one. Let's go into our final of the day, Emerald Steel on the draw.
Thinking about that the matchup is not good and we are on the draw, what makes it even worse, we should try to high roll. Use the advantages we have while they not have their perfect opening hand. So Merfolk I nearly always keep because it's like if they don't, you can say like, oh, if they open Diablo Shift Storm, but you won't beat Diablo Shift Storm opening.
Right.
So I would keep the Merfolks here. The one Merfolk at least. Yeah, one Merfolk only, and then the Ursula. And Peter Pan would be great, so I think that's the only keeps here. Yeah, I think these two I would keep. The rest can be. I would like to see Bounce with the Ursula sometimes, and also Fox can trade the location quite easily sometimes. But let's see what we get.
A lot of Ravens. Not what we wanted.
Yeah.
Very clunky.
Weird ink decision, like right in the start. I think we have to ink the Flynn here, but it's not what I want to do. We need them to brick.
Yeah, so these last two were actually really fast. So let's go ahead and do one more bonus one, and let's do a Steel Song on the play.
Steel Song is most of the time very easy. If I have no Ursula, I mulligan 7, and that's exactly what we do here. We need really that Ursula, or we don't come into the game. Yeah.
All right. Still no Ursula.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the opening, but if they open Cindy, I would try now to we have to play the Merfolk at some point, so we play a turn 1. Although it's not the greatest option against that deck, but we ink the Iago, play Merfolk, and then play another 2-1 drops. So it's it's nearly secured that we can play the Fox on turn 3. Yeah, so we have a decent opening game, but it's not the best thing. If they high roll with their songs, we can't do much. Yeah, that's the case. Well, maybe we draw into an Ursula.
Yep, hopefully we got a couple shots at it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that'll wrap it up for the day for us. Once again, please subscribe and comment if you want to be entered into a chance to win this Disney Famous Trampled card. Artabax, I'll give you the floor if you want to say any shout-outs.
Shout out, yeah, thank you. Shout out to my co-host of the other cast, LD Lorcana Decklist, and to my team, TSR, Team Secret Rare. Yeah, and to my wife who supports me all the time with my content and stuff. Yeah, that's it, I guess. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, everybody, this has been another great episode of Alter Academy. Thank you for joining us. After this episode, I believe we will be going into set 8, so stay tuned for some early decks and how to alter on set 8, and make sure to enter that giveaway so you can be the big winner of that Disney Famous Trampled card. Until next time, have a good one, everybody.